Today we're taking a look at Shiba Inu's SHIB Coin, performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see SHIB go in the near future. Let's get into it. Welcome back into the SHIB chart, guys. If you'd like to buy SHIB or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links down in the description of today's video. And it has been a month since we last checked on SHIB, and quite frankly, the reason I haven't covered this coin is because, as you can see, not too much has been happening with it. That is up until the last 24 hours. As you can see over here on the 12th of April, we have had a bit of spike in volume. And zooming in just so you can see, it is significant in comparison to what we've seen over the past few months, and in fact for this entire year it has been the biggest volume day. And the reason it sparked my interest was because we saw an increase from a day low, which was 2193 to 3000. That is roughly, I'd say, a 30% jump in the value of SHIB. That is what sparked my interest here. So let's zoom in and take a closer look. First and foremost, going back to our previous prediction of a up curve towards our, I suppose, breakout point over here on the line on the 20th of March, we were able to break out and do that. So the last price analysis did come into fruition, and we basically entered a new sort of era for this coin. Now, what I'm going to do is delete a lot of these lines here because at the moment they're acting as noise. And I'm going to extend out, of course, I'd say our key points of support and resistance. So there's our resistance point, that's sitting at 2965 roughly, and our support point over here is at 1695. So I'm going to extend that one out slightly. There we go, chuck it on just down there. And that is, I suppose, our key points of support and resistance. I'll just hide the volume so we can see what's going on. Now, the nice thing that we are starting to see is we're seeing higher lows. Now, every time we hit a low, we do see, I suppose, a higher point of it. So over here we had our first one, and that was our big drop on the 22nd of January, and we dropped all the way down to 1708. The next one was over here. This was on the 24th of Feb, but we only dropped to 2071. This was then followed by another drop, which was, I believe the low was on the 13th, 2122. And we've had, once again, another drop over here on the 11th of April, and we hit a value of 2185. What you'll notice is the numbers are moving upwards. And they keep moving upwards because the trend has changed from the downtrend that we saw from our massive peaks over here, and it's now changing back into, I suppose, an uptrend. So, can we actually establish an uptrend now? Well, I'm going to take our last points touched, move them all across, and as you can see, yes, we can in fact put in place an uptrending line on SHIB. So this is something that's probably really exciting for a lot of holders because obviously we've not been doing too much for quite some time, but if you actually take a good hard look, you can see that we are uptrending at the moment. So that is fantastic news. We've uptrended to where we're currently sitting at 2715. And what I'm expecting to see now is a little bit of a flag pattern form. And the basis for this is, I think it's going to be bullish because we've had the 20-day moving average cross back above the 50-day moving average, indicating a change in the short-term trend. Plus, we have seen obviously a massive leap over the past 24 hours. So I'm going to put in place immediately a flagpole like this. And what I'm expecting to see, and I'm going to go onto the hourly chart for this and maybe actually draw it on here. It's going to be a bit easier to see on the hourly chart just due to the amount of information we have, is a flag pattern. And here we go, we've got the flagpole. I'm going to bring it over to not the top point, doesn't make sense, that's an outlier. I'll bring it to exactly even on where we saw this point here. And this flag pattern, it looks like we've got, you know, the bottom end of it coming up like this, a nice little sort of pennant sort of shape forming itself. And this pennant shape appears to have actually just broken out. So as you can see, I'll just move this one back here. We have just broken out of this pennant shape. This is very positive, and it's indicating to me that things are looking bullish, although there has been a bit of pullback, maybe to just this little downtrending line here. We've bounced right off it. I think what we're going to see now is a bull move. It is looking good. Alternatively, maybe the bottom line actually does look a bit more like this, a typical sort of flag pattern, and there was just a few, outliers that made us jump outside of that flag pattern. This might be a bit more realistic, but either way, it is looking bullish from that perspective. So based on that alone, I'd say our target is to once again try and test this key point of resistance here at 2965. We're going to have a look at a few more indicators though as well. First and foremost, RSI. Let's have a look at that one. RSI, it's not doing too bad. We were at a low point at 38.49. We now have risen obviously after this nice little pump to 57.54. But we're still relatively in the middle and relatively in the safe zone. We have more room to continue moving upwards. MACD, let's have a look at this one. And you can see that this big pump has caused the MACD to actually cross our 12-day EMA above the 26-day EMA. This once again is also a very positive signal, and we will be able to start moving in an upwards direction just purely due to this technical indicator. That will bring buyers in. And I think what we're going to see is immediately, once again, a test of the 2965 point of resistance. That is the goal for today's video. So I'm going to say we might have a bit of consolidation, but we're going to go, I suppose, straight up and bounce straight and hit it. Hopefully we're able to break through. If we are, the next immediate target will be, of course, our 200-day moving average at 3168. But if all else fails, as long as we maintain this uptrending line that we have seen, we will continue long term in an upwards direction until it's broken. That wraps up today's SHIB analysis, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.